So today we're going to talk about my sisters, my brothers. We're going to talk about marriage. We're going to talk about being a kept woman. What it means to be a kept woman. I don't want to be no kept woman. Some of y'all sisters might say. Let's go to the scriptures. Kept woman. We'll start right here. We'll start at Sirach chapter 25 and verse 1.
The book of Sirach, chapter 25 and verse 1.
Yeah.
In 3 things I was beautified, and stood up beautiful both before God and men. The unity of brethren, the love of neighbors, a man and a wife that agree together.
A man and a wife that agree together. That is beautiful to the Lord. These things are beautiful. A husband and a wife that agree. Some of us come into the world and coming in from the world with the thought that marriage is supposed to be 50-50. It's supposed to be, what's the word? We're supposed to be equal, even. Everything is supposed to be, it's impossible for us to get anywhere if no one is a specific leader, right? Somebody has to be the lead. I know the last couple of classes I kind of been just, what did we talk about last week? The exorcism and the white mob and all this stuff. We're going to get back to marriage today. Because I hear enough brothers and sisters and issues that y'all got going on. Y'all need the help. Y'all need the medicine. And I say this not coming from a place where I don't experience those things in myself, right? Marriage is difficult, So you got to find ways to, prepare yourself for the struggles that marriage is going to bring on a regular basis, I listened to a class called When the Marriage Grows Cold. I listen to that class pretty regularly. I just listen to it, so I can make sure I stay strong, make sure I'm prepared for whatever challenges might come. Might be good. We might be happy, smiling, good old time, but the challenge is going to come, and I got to be ready when it comes to make it through. So I have certain classes I listen to just make sure my mind is sharp. Let's go to this. Let's go to Judges chapter 5, verse 11. Judges chapter 5 and verse 11.
The book of Judges, chapter 5 and verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
They that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel.
Let's read that again. Let's get a mic for the brothers. Do we got a mic for the brothers? Of course not. Adonijah got the mic? Okay. Judges 5 and 11. Read that one more time.
They that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of his villages in Israel.
So how does that scripture relate to marriage? Any brothers over here? Ira, Jacob? Y'all got anything? How does this scripture relate to marriage? Septimius, Jacob, what y'all got? Read it again.
They that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates.
So how does that relate to now?
How does that relate to marriage? Yeah.
Well, marriage is honorable, so that's something as Israelites that we have to rehearse. We have to apply marriage being honorable, proving a friend, and all those things here in America.
It says, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts. What are you rehearsing in marriage?
We are rehearsing fidelity to Christ.
Fidelity to Christ, okay. Ira, you got anything? Jacob? What are you rehearsing in marriage?
Shalom, Brother Ira. We rehearsing the order of marriage. We're rehearsing the obedience to the head of the household, and the obedience to Christ.
Okay. How is the wife rehearsing the righteous acts. Yakai?
She's showing example to the children in the household as has her head as her husband. When he leaves, she's supposed to be example as what is his order as Christ, as we supposed to follow Christ. When we leave the household, she's showing example as a good wife to show the daughters, the sons, and the village.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Exodus chapter 20. We ain't got to make this too difficult. You know, Exodus chapter 20. And we'll start at verse. Let's go to verse. Where I want to start. Let's start at verse 14.
The book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Thou shalt not commit adultery. That's one of the actions that you can execute in marriage. That's one of the righteous acts you can execute in marriage. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not steal.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
Look at that. Some of y'all in marriage bear false witness against each other. Y'all bear false witness against each other. Y'all lying to each other, lying about each other. And sometimes it might not be to me. Sometimes the lie is in your head. Sometimes you lying to yourself about the spouse in your own mind. You think they out to get you, out to hurt you, out to connive you. That's your spouse. You shouldn't have married them if you think like that. Let's go to the next one.
Verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house.
What you not supposed to do?
Covet thy neighbor's house.
So this is, again, these are righteous acts you can execute in your marriage. You shouldn't covet your neighbor's house. Some of y'all brothers and sisters covet your brothers or your sisters' houses. What they got, what you ain't got. Like Bobby Womack say, what she ain't got. What you want to go out and get it for. I can't be in two places at one time. But if you think you're lonely now, read it again.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife.
That's what some of y'all brothers, some of y'all sisters covet your brother's wife. Some of y'all brothers covet, some of y'all sisters covet your sister's husbands. If I was married to them, man, they perfect. They good, man. I see the way they is. We should be like that. Covet your neighbor's spouse. That's what y'all doing. Y'all can't do that thing. Read it again.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife.
Mm-hmm. So, and again, in your head, some of y'all that was before y'all was married, y'all might have been dealing with whoop-de-wham, you know, your ex-boyfriend or your ex-girlfriend, and you thinking in your head, see, if I would have married the person I was with before, I wouldn't be in this situation. The grass is greener. I knew I should have married the other one. Dang. I'm just telling you, this is how you rehearse the righteous acts, man. You get out of that place where you coveting your neighbor's house, your neighbor's wife, right? Go ahead.
Nor his manservant.
Nor his manservant.
Nor his maidservant.
Mm-hmm.
Nor his ox.
Mm-hmm.
Nor his ass. Nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
Nor anything that is thy neighbor's, right? So whatever it is that they might have, and you like, man, I wish I had that. That's coveting. This is how these are actions you can take to these are actions you can take to rehearse the righteous acts right here. These are opportunities you have. Let's go to my sisters. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 14. It's one of my favorites. Proverbs 14. And then let's look up. I want to look up what it means to be kept. Kept. I think I sent it to you. We'll start at Proverbs though. Okay, cool.
Verse 1.
Yeah, Proverbs 14 and 1.
The book of Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 1.
Yes.
Every wise woman buildeth her house.
What does she do?
Buildeth her house.
Every wise woman buildeth her house. That's what you're supposed to do. Go ahead.
But the foolish plucketh it down with her hands.
With her hands. So again, how you build your household, these are things you got to think about. These are acts you can, or what's the word? Righteous acts you can take or rehearse that in your marriage, right? You're supposed to build your household. You don't want to pluck it down. How do you pluck it down? By complaining all the time, by being mad all the time. These are things that you do to pluck it down. Let's go to it. Let me see what it means. Let's see what it means to be a kept woman. A kept woman, it says, a woman who is kept as a lover by someone. So that in itself, on its own, that don't sound like a bad thing. That don't sound bad. But when my sisters think about being a kept woman in their brain, what they thinking about is, I am a slave to you. That's what they think. Go ahead, Azariah. That's what they thinking. They thinking that they are now servants. They are slaves. That's not what it means to be a kept woman. Read it again. What did it say again? Let me see it again. It says a kept woman is a woman who is kept as a lover by someone. I would think that all you sisters want to be loved by someone. I would think that's what you would want. But the problem is the definition of what you have assumed love is in comparison to the reality of what love is. It's a difference. It is a difference. It's not Disney movies and Cinderella and all of that. That's not love. Sorry to break the news to y'all sisters. I know y'all was thinking Princess and the Frog and you kiss them and then it's Prince Charming and all of that stuff. That's not reality. That's not what love looks like. That's not what love looks like from men in general. Like, we don't view love in that aspect. That's not how we view it. It's not emotional, mushy, gushy, none of that stuff. Go back to Proverbs 14:1.
Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands.
Jump down to verse 4.
Verse 4.
That's my favorite scripture.
Where no oxen are, the crib is clean. But much increase is by the strength of the ox.
So it say where no ox is. Read it again.
Where no oxen are, the crib is clean.
The crib is clean. So my brothers that's here. What does that scripture mean? Do y'all know what that means? Any clue? Any clue? If y'all don't know, don't worry about it. You know what it means, Hidekiel? You got any clue? Yeah? Let me see, Adonijah. What that mean? Okay.
Shalom, leader.
Hey, shalom,
Shalom,
sir.
leadership. Happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath.
Wealth, because the oxen is a formality of wealth. That means that they had land, livestock. So I would say wealth, land.
Okay. What does that scripture have to do with being a kept woman? What a topic.
If they ain't got no oxens and stuff, she can't. It's gonna be a clean house. She ain't gonna have no food. She can't cook.
Okay. Anybody else? Go ahead, bro. What's your name, sir? Oh, he finna hand you the mic.
Brother Karis.
Brother who?
Karis.
Karis?
Yeah.
Karis. Okay. Nice to meet you, bro.
Pleasure. Shalom.
Shalom, sir.
I'm gonna give a stab at it. An oxen like a mean bull.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got a mean bull in your house, it's gonna tear it up. So if you don't have an ox in there that's a mean woman or whatever, it's gonna be clean. It's gonna be right. It's gonna be kept up.
Okay. You kind of in the ballpark. All praises. All right, let's read it again. Sisters, really pay attention to this. Being kept women. Go ahead.
Where no oxen are, the crib is clean.
So when you wasn't married, right, your house was probably clean. It wasn't underwear on the floor. Wasn't socks strewn about. It wasn't a bunch of laundry to do, a bunch of dishes to wash. Look at Adara's face. Look at her. She like, yeah, my apartment was clean. It was good to go. Read it again.
Where no oxen are, the crib is clean.
Uh-huh.
But much increase is by
increase. When you do get that ox, go ahead.
Is by the strength of the ox.
But much increase, you get more when you get the ox, right? You get more things are gonna come to you, right? Much increase is gonna come. But the crib isn't gonna be as clean as it was before. Now the crib is gonna be dirty, right? That husband, he done went out and worked all day. He come home, his socks might be over here, his underwear over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, these things happen. But you get increase with the ox. You get what things should you get? Let's see what the increase looks like. Let's go to Exodus chapter 21. I think it's verse 10. Let me double check it. Yes, Exodus 21 and 10.
The book of Exodus, chapter 21 and verse 10.
Yes.
If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish.
So with that ox, right, you might get a brother that might be a little bit uncouth, a little bit unclean. But guess what? These other things come with it too, right? Read it again.
If he take him another wife, her food.
So you got food now. Now you got food in the house. You dig what I'm saying? It might have been a little bit of a struggle when you was just by yourself, taking care of yourself. But now you got a husband, you got kids, you got all these other things you got to take care of. So with this husband, right, you going to have food. Go ahead.
Her raiment.
Her raiment. So meaning her clothes, right? How she dresses, how that woman dresses, the clothes she wears, those things shouldn't be diminished, right? I was just talking to the brother upstairs. I was like, look, man, if your wife, shopped at certain type of stores, that she can't go backwards now because she's accustomed to a certain type of lifestyle. Can't be like, look, I can't say, what your wife is or isn't accustomed to, right? That's up to you to decide. You know what I'm saying? All I can tell you is that, it's a certain level of, what's the word? Care that I want to have for my wife and my children. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want them to be looking like bums, right? They can't be walking around with holes in their shoes, their garments all jacked up, stuff like that. You can't have that. Read that again.
If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish.
And her duty of marriage. All the stuff, that means all the other stuff that comes with it, where she lives. You know what I'm saying? You can't take her from, Baldwin Hills to the projects and think that she going to be okay with that. It's going to be some pushback. It's going to be some problems. I'm not used to hearing gunshots all night. She might come from the hood. She might be okay with it. I don't know. Everybody's different. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the projects Oak Cliff, so hey, I heard all type of stuff. Let's go back to Proverbs 14 and 4.
Proverbs chapter 14, verse 4.
Yeah.
Where no oxen are, the crib is clean.
Mm-hmm.
But much increase is by the strength of the ox.
When you get married, you're going to get increase through the strength of that ox, through the strength of that husband. It could be spiritual increase. It could be financial increase. It could be mental increase. All these different things are going to increase. Directional increase. You got direction. You got a plan. All these different things are coming out or happening now that you're married. You know what I'm saying? Is that the end of that scripture?
Yes, sir.
Let's jump back to Sirach again, chapter 20. I think we was at 1.
We got 25 and 1.
25 and 1, yes, sir.
Sirach, chapter 25 and verse 1.
Yeah.
In 3 things I was beautified, and stood up beautiful both before God and men.
Mm-hmm.
The unity of brethren, the love of neighbors, a man and a wife that agree together.
Mm-hmm.
3 sorts of men my soul hateth.
So you sisters, in order to be a kept woman, right, you got to understand these are the type of men that the Lord hates. And I think what happens a lot of times when y'all feel like y'all being kept women, y'all not choosing the right type of men. These are the type of men that you want to avoid. Let's see. Come on.
And I am greatly offended at their life.
Mm-hmm.
A poor man that is proud.
A poor man that is proud, meaning that he ain't got nothing. He ain't got no plan to get nothing. And he won't even say, I need help to get out of this situation. Some of y'all sisters in here are married to those type of men. The Lord is offended at that. Read it again.
A poor man that is proud.
Mm-hmm.
A rich man that is a liar.
Now some sisters are married to men with financial means. They use their financial means to take advantage of other brothers and sisters. The Lord is offended at that type of man too. Read it again.
A rich man that is a liar.
Mm-hmm.
And an old adulterer that doteth.
And an old adulterer, a man that was a whoremonger, and that's all he want to talk about all the time, bragging about all the different, what's the word? Sexual experiences he's encountered. An old man that doteth. Let's go forward.
Verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
If thou hast gathered nothing in thy youth, how canst thou find anything in thine age?
Mm-hmm.
And oh, how comely a thing is, oh, how comely a thing is judgment for gray hairs, and for ancient men to know counsel.
So you want a husband that knows counsel. It's okay to be a kept woman by this type of man. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. You got something for me? Okay, go ahead.
Verse 5. Oh, how comely is the wisdom of old men, and understanding and counsel to men of honor. Much experience is the crown of old men, and the fear of God is their glory.
Mm-hmm.
There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that hath joy of his children.
So you want a husband that has joy in his children. These are the things that you want to look for. These are the attributes of the type of man you want to be kept by. Read that again.
A man that hath joy of his children.
A man that has joy in his children. Some of you brothers or you sisters don't have no joy in your children. You want to make sure that you are doing things to enjoy your kids. Looking at man Juju like making noise right now, right? She be cooing and making like, sounds. I'm like, man, we got to record this thing, man. These moments go by fast. You know what I'm saying? They'll be gone before you know it. Got to record these things. We don't want to miss it. You want to have joy in your children. Go ahead.
And he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Well is him that dwelleth with the wife of understanding.
That's the kind of you brothers, right? If you're gonna be that husband, right? You're gonna have that kept woman, right? You want to have what again? What did it say?
That dwelleth with a wife of understanding.
Dwelleth with the wife of understanding. What kind of understanding should she have? Should she understand Daniel's 10, Daniel's 11, Revelations 22? You want her to go through that and break that down for you, the 7 heads of the dragon? Nah, that's no benefit. That's not what it's talking about when it say, read that again.
Well is him that dwelleth with a wife of understanding.
You got to be able to find a woman with understanding. What is she supposed to be understanding of? Let's go to that. Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. A woman that hath understanding.
1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 15.
Yeah.
Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing, if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety.
So, brothers, what does that mean? What does that mean? How does that relate to a woman of understanding? A wife of understanding.
Shalom.
Hey, shalom, Adonijah.
Titus 2 and 3.
Just answer the question.
Oh,
Like, how does
understanding as in like the role as a woman she should do to being sober and hold on, got the stuff in my lap.
be specific? Give me some specific attributes that she should be focused on.
Teaching the children.
Teaching the children. Okay, what does the scripture say that we just looking at? What does it mean, childbearing?
Giving birth.
So she's saved if she have a baby?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
No.
Okay, what are you saying?
Being fruitful and multiplying, but I mean, that doesn't really.
You're
add
saying
up
the
to
same
it.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't loving the child, not abandoning, not aborting the child, something like that, you know.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody got anything else? Kai, what does it mean? She's saved in childbearing.
She's saved in childbearing. She know the child comes from a man, right? It comes from her having a husband, a family. So her submitting to the head and knowing her divine order as a woman on earth.
Okay, that's key. That is key. You got something, bro? Septimius, you got something?
Childbearing, I believe just the act itself, when a woman raises a child, is like nurturing. So saving, so to nurture a child is like salvation. You know what I mean? It's like you're nurturing the community, it's nurturing a child. So you're bearing the mental barrenness of to be able to cope with that child, to be able to deal with that child, to be able to raise that child.
Okay. Let's get it again. Good shot. Read it again for me.
1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15.
Yeah.
Notwithstanding, she shall be saved.
Hold on. Why'd it go up so loud? It got super loud all of a sudden. Goodness. Go ahead.
Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing.
So a key attribute to the childbearing, like you're saying, is the raising of the children, of the daughter or the son, right? Because what you're doing when you're raising that son is you're teaching him how to be the husband and the father and the man that he's supposed to be, right? By your attributes. By what you do as a mother and how you submit to your husband, you actually show that son what marriage looks like, what kind of woman he should be looking for. And the opposite, right? If you have a daughter, you're actually showing that daughter the type of woman, the type of spouse, the type of mother that she should be. When they say through childbearing, it's talking about the actions that you take in raising those children. That's what you're actually, I forget. Read the scripture.
Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing.
Right. How she shows or lives out the actions through marriage is teaching those children something. Go ahead.
If they continue in faith.
If they continue in faith, you got to be faithful. Faithful to what? Not faithful to an idiot. Not faithful to stupidity, but faithful to a man of God. Go ahead.
And charity.
And charity. You got to be charitable. Right? Some of you sisters got to learn how to be charitable. You got to look for opportunity. Go back to that Judges again. Judges 5 and 11, I think it is. Read that one more time.
Judges chapter 5, verse 11.
Yeah.
They that are delivered from the noise of archers and the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord.
The righteous acts of the Lord that you're supposed to be rehearsing is charity. How do you rehearse that charity? You have to find ways to rehearse the charity. You sisters really got to think about that. I was on the thing the other day. I know Susie was on there. Captain Barnabas was talking about ways that sisters can be charitable to their husbands. He said, sister, this is what you do. He said, how many washcloths does your husband use? She said, like 2 or 3. He's like, that's how many you use throughout the week? I said, yeah. He said, okay, this is what you do, sis. He said, you go get a basket, right? You put in there, you put about, how many washcloths you want, whether it be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You put his underwear in there, right? His socks, whatever he need for when he go take his shower, it's already there for him. Because what we do a lot of times as husbands, I know I do. I go in there and go take a shower, and I be like, oh, shoot, my underwear in the room. I got to go grab them. Go grab my socks. Got to run in here, grab this. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, man, I'm getting water all over the floor. But these are opportunities to be charitable. You have to find ways to be charitable. And you shouldn't look at that thing like, oh, man, I got to be a servant, a slave to this husband. No, you got to look at it as an opportunity to rehearse the righteous acts. That's what you got to look at it like. A lot of y'all look at it like, this is the worst thing ever. Let's go back to it. What I was at. Timothy, I think.
Yes, sir. 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 15.
Yeah.
Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing, if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety.
And holiness with sobriety. The holiness and sobriety is going into you, again, going back and submitting to the natural order. You trusting and believing that that man of God is going to do the right thing by you. A lot of y'all sisters don't believe that. Y'all don't trust that. Y'all scarred and scorned women. Y'all don't trust that. Y'all think he's out to, I don't know, take advantage of you in some way. And you married him. I don't know why you married him. I don't get it. I don't get it. You don't trust the man, but you married him. You shouldn't have married the idiot. Now you stuck with him. You bought it, you broke it. He's yours. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Let's go back to Sirach 25. Let me get that video, man. Let me get that video.
A 10-year-old girl living in Gaza has documented her experience on social media. Here's CNN's Awa Damon with her story.
I met a video. His name is Jude. His name is Nana or Nadia.
It's the juxtaposition that is perhaps the most jarring. Between the clips Nadine, an aspiring social media influencer, used to post about her life, often featuring her younger brother Jude.
Spider, my sister?
And the clip that was posted of her that went viral.
You want all of this? What do you expect me to do? Fix it? I'm only 10. I can't even do anything anymore. I just want to be a doctor or anything to help my people, but I can't. I'm just a kid.
She is just a kid.
Pause that. Look at their house. Look at their house. It's rubble. It is a pile of rocks. Let's go to the scripture. Let's go to Sirach. You can take it down. Let's go to Ecclesiastes in the Bible. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 12. Let's look at that. What's the other one? Mean Cottage. Give me that one too. Go ahead. Read that, Yesadi.
Ecclesiastes or Sirach?
Ecclesiastes first.
Okay, yes, sir. Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 11. Wisdom is good with an inheritance, and by it there is profit to them that see the sun.
What did I say? Ecclesiastes in the Bible, chapter 7.
Yes, sir. Verse 11.
Verse 12.
Verse 12.
Yes, sir.
For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense.
Yep.
But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it.
So wisdom and finances is a defense. Right? I have some brothers call me after Passover about some of you sisters. You know what I'm saying? They like, hey, I want to talk to sis such and such. I say, well, how much money you got in the bank? $200. It's not going to work, bro. It's not. I don't know why you calling me right now. You can't take care of this woman at all. Why are you calling me? Get yourself together, bro. Like, it's crazy. I'm showing y'all the clip again so we can really be. Give me the one, Sirach 29 and 12. 29 and 22, I'm sorry.
Sirach, chapter 29 and verse 22.
Start at 21.
21. The chief thing for life is water and bread and clothing and a house to cover shame.
And a house to cover shame. These are the things that a husband is supposed to provide so you can be a kept woman. That's what's supposed to happen. But again, a lot of you sisters are looking for emotional support or looking for, I don't know. I don't even know how to say it. You sisters know what I'm talking about. All this stuff that men don't even know how to give you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know what the thing is. I don't even know how to hit the target that you're asking me to hit. It doesn't make any sense. I'm what my wife say, I'm emotionally retarded, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to hit it. I don't know what it is. What, Ananias? Say something. Help me out, man.
I was telling Cap and Azariah the other day about certain things that certain women are looking for. I was with a buddy of mine back in the day, and we ran into two lesbians, right? One was very butch, and the other one was very feminine, right? So my question was to them, because I was like, I didn't care, I'm going to ask, right? It's like, okay, why is the more feminine lesbian attracted to butch lesbians? In not all cases it's like that, but in a lot of cases it is, right? And she was like, man, nobody was ever bold enough to ask me that question. And she was like, well, what we're looking for is that emotional attachment. We like the physical attachment of the man body and the mannerisms that a man carries, but we're also looking for...
He liked that part, the sexual part.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
He nice.
So I don't know what that other butch one was doing to fulfill that role. But anyway, they said that they said those butch lesbians that you see, they're the most emotional, soft-hearted people that you will run into. And that's what I think a lot of our sisters get caught up in. They don't look at the fact is, okay, for the moment, that's going to be good. What's going to happen when the rent's due? What's going to happen when there's no food, when you open the refrigerator and you get blinded by the light because there's no food in there to block the light? So I'm just saying.
All the light is in the refrigerator.
All the light. Yeah. Bright-ass refrigerator.
Oh, shoot. Where I'm at? Sirach 29?
Yes, sir.
Read that.
Sirach chapter 29 and verse... You want 22 now?
Nah, I think it was at 21. Read that again.
21. The chief thing for life is water and bread and clothing, and an house to cover shame. Better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage than delicate fare in another man's house.
So you sisters, man, y'all should want to have these things. These are the things you should want to have. That don't mean that you are a servant or a slave. It's okay to be kept, because this is what a man that's keeping you should have. You should have water, bread, clothing, and a house to cover shame. And I'm telling you, some of you sisters in here, right, the married men that can't provide water, can't provide bread, clothing, and a house to cover shame. You men that's doing that stuff, man, get your stuff together, man. It don't make no sense. Water's off. I say, man, and the crazy part is, I think I was telling y'all this, the crazy part is that when you're actually providing those things, right, they taken for granted. That was the whole point of me showing the rubble, right? We take those things for granted from certain husbands that might provide those things. You take it for granted. You never say, thank you, honey, for keeping the lights on. But if them lights was off, oh, you would have a problem. You never say, thank you, honey, for having the water on, for the mortgage being paid. You know what I'm saying? For gas in my car, whatever it might be. And how you demonstrate that thank you, again, is charity. It's the charity. You go back to the charity. Let me make sure I'm doing the charitable things I'm supposed to do as a wife to make sure my husband knows I do appreciate these other things. You know what I'm saying? Because we forget. We just take them for granted. Like I said, you just take them for granted. And it's not always easy. You know what I'm saying? I just make it look easy. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Let's give me that clip. That clip, I mean, it was it looked like an Instagram post or something. It had the name blocked out. Can you put that up there? It says, women, even if you're not attracted to other women, I promise it's worth it to take a moment and deconstruct the standard of family. Consider co-parenting with your friends. Look up compound living, etc. We really can imagine and implement a new way of life. What this sister is saying is, we don't need no man. We don't need to be kept women. We can do this by ourselves. This is what's in the Negro's mind. That's how you know we the children of Israel, man. We are the children of Israel. We're the only people that think this is okay. And let somebody say that this is wrong, they'll think we're crazy. Y'all crazy. Everybody can do what they want to do. Free love. All right, man. Let's go back. Where I'm at? Sirach 25.
Sirach chapter 29 and verse
25.
25. All right. Sirach chapter 25 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm. Nah. I'm at where I'm at?
Oh,
verse 8.
Okay. Verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
Well is him that dwelleth with a wife of understanding, and that hath not slipped with his tongue, and that hath not served a man more unworthy than himself.
So it say that have not slipped with his tongue. You brothers got to understand. That she's going to do things in the marriage that's going to aggravate you, right? You cannot allow those things to dictate how you now speak to her, right? She done pissed me off. Now I'm going to cuss her out. Now you done slip with your tongue. Read it again.
Well is him that dwelleth with a wife of understanding, and that hath not slipped with his tongue, and that hath not served a man more unworthy than himself.
Go ahead.
Well is him that hath found prudence, and he that speaketh in the ears of them that will hear. Oh, how great is he that findeth wisdom! Yet is there none above him that feareth the Lord. But the love of the Lord passeth all things for illumination. He that holdeth it, whereto shall he be likened?
Here it comes.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of his love.
This is what you sisters should want. If you want to be a kept woman, this is what you should want. Read that again.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of his love.
If you want a man to truly love you, it has to start with his love of God. That's where love has to flow from. If his love is strictly based off of your looks or his feeling towards you or a physical attraction, whatever it might be, it's going to all fade away. Read it again.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of his love. And faith is the beginning of cleaving unto him.
And then your household and your marriage will be faithful. It'll be safe if his love starts with him loving God. Him looking at the attributes in the Bible of what it means to be a husband and a father and a man of God, and looking at those things and executing those things. That's what's going to create the right type of marriage. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 13. We'll start at verse 16. Pull up that article for JDL first. Let's get that first. Give me that article. I think it was called, what was it called, JDL?
Political lesbianism.
Yeah, let's look that up. Let's look up political lesbianism. Because that's what it is, man.
Yeah, that's what it is.
When it comes to a lot of our sisters, right, they might not be physically homosexual, but emotionally and mentally,
they lesbians.
They lesbians, man, in the mind.
Yeah.
They like, no, I'm not. Okay.
Okay, we're going to find out.
We're going to find out. Let's read it. All right, it says political lesbianism. You want Yesadi to read it? I've been struggling with my reading, so I'll let Yesadi read it.
It's all right, man.
Mess up again.
You got to get a new prescription.
Yeah.
Nah, read, please.
Y'all trying to make fun of me. I'm not reading.
Go ahead. Yesadi, let Cat borrow your glasses. Go ahead.
Political lesbianism originated in the late 1960s among second-wave radical feminists as a way to fight sexism and compulsory heterosexuality. See Adrienne Rick's essay, Compulsory Heterosexuality and Lesbian Existence. Sheila Jeffries, a lesbian, helped to develop the concept when she co-wrote Love Your Enemy, the debate between heterosexual feminism and political lesbianism, with the Leeds Revolutionary Feminist Group. They argued that women should abandon support of heterosexuality and stop sleeping with men, encouraging women to rid men from your beds and your heads.
So that's the point too, right there, right? It says rid men from your beds and your heads. Right? So stop sleeping with your husband. Don't listen to nothing he say.
Don't listen to nothing he say.
That's political lesbianism.
Yep. And that's that thing has come to pass. Some of them have completely rid they men from their head.
Yep.
It might still be in the bed, but in their head they got a idea of what a woman should be doing.
Somebody else, you know what I'm saying?
It ain't what a man is gonna give you.
A Disney movie.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Yesadi. A Disney movie is in the head.
While the main idea of political lesbianism is to be separate from men, this does not necessarily mean that political lesbians have to sleep with women.
So you could not be sleeping with women and still be a political lesbian, right? Go ahead.
Some choose to be celibate or identify as asexual.
Go ahead.
The Leeds Revolutionary Feminist Group definition of political lesbian is a woman-identified woman who does not fuck men.
Go ahead.
They proclaimed men the enemy and women who were in relationships with them collaborators and complicit in their own oppression.
See, that's the point right there. It was all based on women feel like they were oppressed. Right? That's what women feel. They feel like they're oppressed. Go ahead.
Heterosexual behavior was seen as the basic unit of the patriarchy's political structure, with lesbians who reject heterosexual behavior therefore disrupting the established political system. Lesbian women who have identified themselves as political lesbians include Ty Grace Atkins, Julie Bindel, Charlotte Bunch, Yvonne Rainer, and Sheila Jeffries.
And that's only specific towards our black women and our Hispanic women. It's towards them, right? They're not dealing with that in Edom world, in Moab world. Like, they not doing that. They all about marriage. You know what I'm saying?
They tell y'all leave your husband and then go home to theirs.
It was a crazy point, man. I can't remember who said it, but they said you never heard a song called Miss Independent in Chinese.
Damn.
You never heard that. You know what I'm saying? You never heard WAP in, Arabic. You know what I'm saying? But the black women, they hear that that's they hot girl summer in Europe. You know what I'm saying? It's not going down over there like that, bro.
The Dutch hot girl summer?
It's not a Dutch hot girl summer, bro. It's not happening like that, bro. It's just not. But they put that stuff out there only towards our women, and then they can't even see the plot. They can't even see that they are at war. They don't even believe it. They're not at war.
Yep.
All right.
They believe it. I got it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Romans 1, 20, 26. Kind of want to start at 25, but 26. A lot of times we read this, right, for homosexuality, right? But let's look at 26. Watch.
Romans chapter 1 and verse 26. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affections. For even their woman did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
So the natural use of a woman, we read it earlier, was to be in submission to her husband, right? To be to have childbearing, right? To be a kept woman, right? So when we look at this, God is saying that a lot of our sisters have changed their mindset to something that is against their nature, right? Go ahead, read the next verse.
And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another.
Go ahead.
Men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet.
God said you receive the recompense of your error, right? You're going to be damaged because of what you believe is correct.
I like that. Can I hear that again?
Go ahead.
And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another. Burned in their lust.
So being burned in your lust, it's not talking about I just gotta go lay with them. Nah, it's implanted, it's embedded in you. That thing is in your mind, right? It's what's the word? Yeah, it's deep rooted. What you say? Seared. There you go. Seared into you. You can't wash it out. How you visualize what marriage is supposed to be is based off of some homosexuality stuff. It ain't got nothing to do with the natural order of how God said marriage is supposed to be. Go ahead.
That was it. That was it.
That was it? Okay, cool. Let's go back to Proverbs right quick. Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 16.
Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 16.
Again, this is husbandry. Read Sirach 25 and verse 12 one more time and then jump to Proverbs.
Sirach chapter 25 and verse 12.
Yeah.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of his love.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of his love. So if a man loves you, right, his attributes should be based off of the fear of the Lord. And the fear of the Lord means if he lies to you, guess what? He's not lying to you and you alone. He's lying to the Most High, right? If he's been dishonest, if he's been unfaithful, if he's committing adultery, it's not to you alone. He got to know that the Most High can judge him, because if he's basing it solely off of your judgment, he going to do what the hell he want to do. Or only off of your feelings and what you view marriages. Some people in marriages in the world, right, they have what they call it open marriages and stuff like that. Craziness. All right, where are we going? Go ahead.
That's Benjamin life, man. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? My dad had me and my brother. My brother lived about 15 blocks from me. You know what I'm saying? So that's how Benjamin get down. You got two families. You know what I'm saying? So
crazy.
That's how the world worked for Benji.
Crazy. Come on, let's read that thing.
In Proverbs?
Mm-hmm.
Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 16.
Yeah.
Every prudent man dealeth with knowledge, but a fool layeth open his folly.
Every prudent man. So the type of man that you want to be kept by, sisters, is a prudent man. A prudent man is somebody that looks ahead at the obstacles to come and plans ahead for those things. That's what it means to be a prudent man. Whatever those obstacles might be. Go ahead.
But a fool layeth open his folly.
Mm-hmm.
A wicked messenger falleth into mischief, but a faithful ambassador is health.
Here it comes.
Poverty and shame shall be to him that refuseth instruction.
Brothers and sisters, like I was saying, man, some of y'all are going through these exact things. The poverty is making reference to you can't cover food, water, raiment, and a house to cover shame. You can't cover those things. You are in poverty. That's not being a man of God. Come on.
But he that regardeth reproof shall be honored.
Yep.
The desire accomplished is sweet to the soul, but it is abomination to fools to depart from evil.
Come on.
He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed.
And that's what we was talking about again. We had our lock-in last night. Some of you brothers, right, want to counsel with brothers that you want to counsel with instead of the brothers that can really help you. You go to somebody that ain't never done the thing you trying to do and you want to talk to him about the thing that neither one of y'all done. Makes no sense. I had a sister I was talking to not long ago. She said, well, if I move to this camp, all the sisters there are my age. Here in San Diego, a lot of the sisters are a little older. That makes no sense. You want to go there and be around a bunch of unexperienced people? How is that going to help you? Read that again.
He that walketh with wise men shall be wise.
You'll get wisdom if you go around people that have certain life experiences. How to be a husband, how to be a father, how to be a wife, how to be a mother, how to accomplish this, that, and the third throughout life. You want to be around people like that, not around who makes you comfortable. You're not growing in that way. You got to get comfortable. In the truth, you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Doing things that you wouldn't naturally do. I was saying this last night. I said before I came into the truth, right? I'm not saying I'm the greatest thing in the world, but I wasn't the most organized, the most administratively sound. But coming into the truth, I seen needs that I had to improve in myself. And for the body, I said, let me step into these roles. Let me challenge myself. Let me discipline myself in these different things. Was I using a planner when I first came? Nah, I said, man, this is a way to really challenge myself to be better. Let me do that thing. Yeah. But you got to always look for ways to be wise. I got this from other brothers and wise men that's around me in the body and things that I just see in the Bible. I'm like, I can execute that. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
But a companion of fools shall be destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Evil pursueth sinners, but to the righteous good shall be repaid.
Evil pursueth sinners. You ever wonder why things keep going wrong? Why issues keep happening in your life? Why evil seems to be around you and problems keep happening? Because you're in sin. You don't think it's sin. I'm wearing my fringes. I'm showing up for the Sabbath. But evil is pursuing you. You got to figure out where it's at. Where am I lacking discipline in my life where this stuff keep happening? Where my water bill can't be paid? Why is this happening to me? Why I keep getting fired? Why I keep having problems with whatever it might be? Evil is pursuing you. Go ahead.
Verse 22. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children.
That's going back to prudence. He's not only looking ahead for himself, he's not only looking ahead for his children, he's looking ahead for his grandchildren. That's what prudence is. Go ahead.
And the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just.
Yep.
Much food is in the tillage of the poor, but there is that is destroyed for want of judgment.
So it's what he's saying is, when he's saying much food is in the tillage of the poor, meaning it's stuff available. They just don't know how to get to it. They have no clue because they want to counsel with those that don't know nothing also. Go ahead.
He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes.
So if you love your children, guess what? You're going to have discipline in their life. But how you going to create discipline in your children's life if you ain't got no discipline in your own life? You ain't gonna know how to give them no guidance or discipline. Go ahead.
Now, Captain Joshua always say that when I first was having Isaiah, I asked him about it. I said, what should I do with having a son? He said, a lot of brothers like to pull that Ciroc 30 and say they have an Avenger, but he said, you don't have no Avenger until you create one.
Yep.
Right? So it's just like a lot of brothers do not know how to create an Avenger because they not one. So you're going to have yourself times 2.
Yep. Like, dang, I got a little niggard on my hands. Go ahead. Yeah, he got all the same problems I got. Dang. I wonder how this happened. Go ahead.
Verse 25. The righteous eateth to the satisfying of his soul, but the belly of the wicked shall want.
The belly of the wicked shall want. You always going to be looking. You always going to be looking at somebody else saying, I ain't got it. I can't figure out how to get to it. Again, and it's attributes in here of what you want sisters to be kept by, and it's also attributes in here of what you don't want to be kept by. Let's go to John 14. I'm almost done. John 14, verse 1 through 3. What other stuff I have in there? Pull up them other definitions. I had a couple other definitions in there too. Let me see what I got. Oh, homemaker. Let's see. Homemaker is one who manages a household, especially as a spouse and parent. Right? Some of you sisters might be homemakers. There's nothing wrong with being a kept woman and being a homemaker, but those are two totally different things. A kept woman, again, is going into a man is faithful and committed to loving you. That's a kept woman, right? A homemaker, That's somebody that's at home and they just handle all the business for a house. It's a lot of business to take care of in the house, man. It really is. It really is, bro. It's a lot to do. You know what I'm saying? Stuff breaks. You need to call a plumber, the mailman, packages getting dropped off. It's all type of stuff going on, man. It's happening. You know what I'm saying? To take care of a house. So we shouldn't take for granted the attributes of that spouse. You know what I'm saying? You sisters that are homemakers. Don't take those things for granted. What was the other one I had? Give me John 14:1.
The book of John, chapter 14 and verse 1.
Yeah.
Let not your heart be troubled.
Mm-hmm.
Ye believe in God, believe also in me.
Mm-hmm.
In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you.
Yep.
And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also.
So what the role of as a husband is to be Christ, right? What did Christ say? Start up one more time. Start at verse 1.
Let not your heart be troubled.
So the role of the man in the marriage is supposed to make sure his wife's heart isn't troubled. But the heart being troubled again, sisters, like I said, y'all might have in y'all mind it's this emotional thing, and it's not, man. We don't operate like that. We just don't. You know what I'm saying? I know I don't, man. It's like, what am I doing? This is I love you because the lights are on, and you never had to ask me why the lights are off. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know I love you. If I didn't love you, that wouldn't happen. Read on.
You believe in God.
You believe in God. You sisters say you believe in God. Go ahead.
Believe also in me.
You got to also believe in your husband because he's supposed to be Christ in the household. Believe also in him. Go ahead.
In my Father's house are many mansions.
Mm-hmm.
If it were not so, I would have told you.
Mm-hmm.
I go to prepare a place for you.
It's your job as a husband is to prepare, make sure she's taken care of. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 7:32.
First Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 32.
Yeah.
But I would have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried careth for the things that belongeth to the Lord.
So you brothers that don't have wives, right? You should be taking care of yourself and the body, right? Those are the things y'all should be worried about. Doing things to help make sure the body is good, right? Going out to camp, going to fly missions, doing those things. Go ahead.
How he may please the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
But he that is married careth for the things that are of the world.
He that is married, guess what? You got to still do the things that's necessary for the body. That don't mean you off the hook. But you still got to make sure that you take care of that wife. You got to make sure she's a kept woman. Read it again.
Verse 33.
Mm-hmm.
But he that is married careth for the things that are of the world,
Mm-hmm.
how he may please his wife.
How he may please his wife. And again, it's not all about her. I'm not saying you got to make it all about her, but you do got to make sure you spend some time making sure she's taken care of. All right? That's what it means to be a kept woman, man. You're not taking advantage of her, right? Let's go to that. Let's go to Sirach chapter 25. And let's start at verse 21.
The book of Sirach, chapter 25 and verse 21.
Yeah.
Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure.
Because that thing fades. That thing fades away. The beauty is going to fade at some point. Go ahead.
A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach.
And some of you brothers got women that are angry and full of much reproach. You got to ask yourself, is she maintaining me? Is she the one that got to make sure that the lights stay on? Because I'm frivolous with my money, I'm out gambling it away or whatever it might be. I don't know what you brothers be doing with your money. I have no clue why your lights ain't on, why you can't put your house in a place to live. I have no idea why you can't do that. But it's your job as a husband to not put in a position where she's crying, where she's confused, where she's being lied to about the financial issues, and now everything's just all bad. I'm over here, the wife over here, because she can't stay where I'm at. These things is happening in the body. Craziness. Read it again.
A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger.
She gonna be full of anger, brothers. Y'all gotta make sure y'all prepared, y'all using prudence before y'all get married. Because she gonna be full of anger. I don't know why she's so mad. Brother, is the lights on? I ain't had the money this week to pay the light bill. Is the water on? Nah, we ain't gonna know. Do you have a place to live? No, but we sleeping on, soldier such and such couch. We over there right now. It's not okay. That is not okay. Read on.
Impudence and much reproach. A wicked woman abateth the courage, maketh an heavy a countenance and a wounded heart. A woman that will not comfort her husband.
A woman, you gotta comfort your husband. Sometimes it's gonna be challenges. Read that again.
A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees.
So again, going back to that charity, sometimes it's going to be challenges, sisters. You got to make sure that you are encouraging, right, and comforting your husband and helping him get to the goal. Because sometimes when y'all jump in y'all emotions, and then it's he already frustrated because he don't want it to be like this. So you got to build him up. You can do this, honey. Let's come up with an idea. Let's come up with a plan. Let's come up with a game plan to get to this point or that point. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to encourage your husband.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are how men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.